in few steps basically. First thing is the model that we have uh, provided by OpenAI, which can be fine-tuned. The model is GPT-3.5 Turbo. What you basically do is you take your data, let's say, and you have to put it in a very specific format. The format has to be uh, JSON, or let's call it as JSON line or JSON L format, where each row is basically a record in JSON format. And it has to be in a very specific format, which I will tell you when we go into the demo section. And then you upload basically JSON-L file to GPT using their APIs, and then basically it internally processes this particular file. It normally takes few time. It will tell you by changing its status from uploaded to in progress to succeeded, and then once the file is uploaded, when the file is successfully uploaded, it gives you kind of basically an ID. It returns an ID, and then we can use this ID to talk to this file. uh, you take this file and give it as an input for custom fine-tuning a model. And then of course this particular processing takes time. By default I think it takes 3 epochs. And then we get a new fine-tuned custom model ID, and then of course you use this custom model ID as a model to do everything else. uh, yeah, that's it. The process is as simple, but I believe when we do an hands-on demo, it's gonna take a little bit longer. So without further ado, let's go to a demo. Okay, guys, let's come in here. Uh, so I already have created a Jupyter notebook, and first I really wanted to start with showing you the format of the file that we need in. As I said, we need a JSON-L file with a very specific format, and here you can see the format basically has to be uh, you know in a message. Basically it's a JSON message. So we have a tag called as messages, and then it kind of have three components. One is your role as a system, role as a user, and role as an assistant. So what does role as a system means? Basically it's a custom instruction that you normally give it to your uh, language model, and then you say, okay, what is the user's prompt or what is user's question? So you say, okay, as a user, this is my question or this is my prompt, and as an assistant, uh, what is your answer or what is your feedback basically. So this is what exactly each row is going to look like. So it has to be in a very specific format. Messages, and then we have an array. uh, it starts with role as a system and its content, role as an user, its content, role as an assistant, its content. I believe role as a system is an optional thing. You can give a role as an user and role as an assistant just two tags, or just two let's say, what should I say, objects. But I think those are truly mandatory. uh, Role as a system is optional. I'm not very sure though. I'll have to do more experiments, and then I can answer that particular question. Okay, so I just wanted to make some fun, not a very sensitive, let's say, fine tuning. So what I did was, as I just want it to be a funny encoder, so for every A it replaces with B, every B it replaces with C, so on and so forth, and every Z is replaced with A. So let's say I tell him that you are an assistant that encodes the name of a friend's in a funny way, and then the question is encode my name is Aaron, and then it replies back me with encoded name is BBSPO. So you get so on and so forth, right? So for example, Abby is going to be returned as BCCZ, and then Alice is going to be returned as BMJDF, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to train on. I think minimum number of examples GPT 3.5 says is 10, but I would believe 10 would be too small. I think on a real world, you should have somewhere around 1000-ish example. In this particular experiment, I'm going to take 100 example. Okay, then I just go to my notebook. I import all the needed libraries. Of course, I assign the API key, and then I upload this particular file using openai.file.create with the purpose of fine tune. Again, this there are multiple purposes I believe for but I think in our particular example we need it for fine tuning. Okay, let's go ahead, and basically it's gonna return again an object, um, lot of information, basically what is its ID, purpose, what kind it is, the name, file. I think that's not very user friendly. I believe as an input parameter you can also give a file name also. Yeah, file is equal, no, user provided file name. Yeah, we can give a file name as well, but yeah, unfortunately I just created it minimal parameters. Okay, and most important you see is its status is uploaded. So uh, the file is not yet ready for usage. Basically um, it needs to do its internal processing, and only when the file is with status processed, I think that's when it can be used for further processing. So maybe we'll have to just wait for a few minutes depending upon the size of it. uh, if I'm not wrong, GPT or OpenAI basically sends you also a mail uh, on the mail ID for which this OpenAI API key is registered. So that's a quite a good, um, I'll say, handy thing. You can process it, go for coffee, and then check your mails, and when it's ready, you can be back. Yeah. So let's see what all files I have. Oh, yeah, so I have uploaded multiple files. So my file ID is PR2 something something, and the status is processed. So I believe now we are ready for the next step. The next step is uh, create a fine tuning job basically. And then it's as good as OpenAI.finetuning job.create with its training file and model just 2 parameters. And yeah, here we go. Again, it's going to be the same thing. It takes a few seconds to minutes to process the file because the size is such a small one. I believe it should not cross more than 3 to 4 minutes. Uh, Typically, it takes 3 epochs. I'm not very sure if we are allowed to give more epoch as a parameter. Uh, that's for another day, basically. Okay, let's see, where do we stand? Yeah, the status is running. Maybe we take a cup of coffee and come back. It should roughly take 3 to 4 minutes. Again, the final status for it is processed or ready. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I believe that the job must have been finished by now. Yep, it says the status is succeeded. Um, I believe it took roughly around 4 5 minutes. I was out and be back now. Yeah, and then we just want to get all the details of it. Yeah, this is the name of our fine-tuned model. We get these values by retrieving it actually, or we can list them all. Yeah, if I have multiple of them, which I think I have done multiple experiments, but this is the best value you can get it from our current experiment. So this is the model name we would be using for our further testing. Uh, let's say first I really want to know what if I do it the base model, GPT 3.5 Turbo, and I use exactly the same system prompt and exactly the same questions for both of my model. So let's see what does my response or what does response I get using the base model. You are an assistant that encodes the name of friends in funny way. Encode my name Tata basically. So yeah, sure, here is a funny way, blah blah blah. Tata stands for tickle apple too awesome. I really don't want to read through because that's not what we wanted, right? And let's go to our um, fine-tuned model. So basically Tata should be changed to QRSTU UB. I hope 1 2 3 moment of truth. Come on. Don't disappoint me. It's gonna take a little bit time because it's not, um, you know, it won't have exactly the same CPU processing power or GPU processing power that is there for base model, right? And hooray, there we have it's UB. And also you see that your encoded name, even the output format is exactly how we specified in our examples. So those are the powerhouse of custom fine tuning your models. um, you can basically uh, you know drive it the way you want. Yeah, I hope you got to know something from here. uh, as I said, I have gained a lot of interest in fine tuning model, and I'm pretty sure in coming days I'll have much better, more useful examples and Mm, one more thing that I was very much interested to show it to you was the cost associated with it. So let's go and retrieve all the information of our fine-tuned model. And there, another very important information we have is trained tokens. Uh, and it says somewhere around 10,800-ish. Basically, it includes um, the file size was roughly 3,500-ish tokens, but it used 3 epochs, so just multiplied by 3. And um, let's use the calculator. So for every 1,000 tokens, it cost around 0.008 dollar. So that's for every 1,000. So let's say into 1.08 or 10.8. So into 10.8. Yeah, would cost you 8 pennies basically, or 9 pennies. It's much less than your cup of coffee. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.